Hello and welcome to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Millie, and today I'm going to be doing 4 looks and also giving you my thoughts on the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup palette. And I'm very excited about this palette because it's an all pastel palette. I'm sure you've already seen it by now, but this is what the cover looks like, and it's such a cute little seal. And then on the inside, this is the most beautiful color story. It's so perfect for spring and summer. But as always, first I'm going to show you how I created the 4 looks, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts on the palette at the end of the video. So if you're interested to see the looks I create, please keep watching. For the first look, I primed with the Makeup Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in the shade Halo. And first, in the inner crease, I'm going in with Fishy. This shade just seems very dry and it likes to stick down and not really blend out. So it took quite a bit of blending and packing on and blending. And then next to it, I'm going in with Snack, which this shade is so pigmented and beautiful. I think this might be one of my new favorite shades. And then on the outer corner, I'm going in with Belly Slide. And this time I did just pack that on a little bit and then blend it out because I didn't want to take it up too far out to begin with. So I find this is easier to do on the outer crease. And the shade blended out really beautifully. Next, I'm going to do a half cut crease using the P. Louise base in the shade 0. And to feather out that edge, I'm going back in with Belly Slide. Next, I'm packing on Flipper on the inner lid, and then Aquatic in the center of the lid, and blending it into Belly Slide. And for the lower lash line, putting down just a little bit of the white base because I really want the opacity to match what's on my lid. And I'm just using an angled brush, and then I'm also blending it out. And I'm just connecting the outer crease of my lower lash line with Belly Slide. And then in the center, I'm going in with Aquatic. And for the inner corner, I'm highlighting with the Trifoil in the shade Turtle Club. And I'm lining my lower waterline with the ColourPop gel liner in Electric Daisy. This is the first finished look. I thought I would do an all matte look. For the second look, I thought I would try out the P. Louise base in shade 0 as a base, just to switch it up and see how these work on the 2 different bases. And on the inner corner, I'm going in with Aquatic. And I'm going in already blending, not necessarily packing it down, because I find that when I pack shadows down, they are harder to blend out, but they're much easier to build up. And then on the outer half of my crease, I'm going in with Cuddle, and I'm just blending those 2 together in the center. And next, I'm going to cut the crease with the P. Louise base in shade 0 again, making sure I bring it high enough and then kind of winging it out on the corner. And I'm setting that with the shade Saddleback because I will be going in with my Fair & Pixie Epoxy. So I'm applying the Fair & Pixie Epoxy everywhere where I put the white. And first, I'm putting down the shade Bunny on my inner lid, and then Snowball on the outer edge. And then I'm just cleaning up the wing. Next, I'm going to go in with the Glam Vice Retro Liner in the shade Pink Velvet, and I'm just going to do an outline of a wing that matches the wing that I already have down. And then I'm going in with Blue Raspberry, and I'm just going to kind of wing that up above the pink liner so they look like they cross over each other. And again, putting some of the white base on my lower lash line. And I'm going in with Cuddle and just putting that all underneath my lower lash line. And for this look, I highlighted my inner corner with the Trifoil in Chickadee. For the waterline, I'm going in with the ColourPop gel liner in Insomniac. And this is second and finished look. I noticed that, I don't know if it was the Pixie Epoxy or what, but the Trifoils really accentuated my wrinkly lids, and they looked pretty heavy on the lid. For the third look, I primed again with the P. Louise base in shade 2. And this is going to be kind of like a pastel rainbow look. So I'm first going in with Aquatic in the inner corner. And again, I'm just blending it. I'm not packing it. I'm just going in straight blending and then building it up so that I don't run into any issues. And right next to it, I'm going in with Ice Worm. And then Sunbathe. And these definitely took a little bit more blending just to really make sure that they're blended out. And next to Sunbathe, I'm going in with Fishy, which this shade took some building up. Next to Fishy, I'm going in with Snack and just blending that out into Fishy. Next, I'm going to do a full cut crease with the P. Louise base in shade 0 again. Just really map out that shade and make so when I open my eyes, you can still see my lid. And on top of the white base, I'm going in with the shade Whisker and just packing that on in the shape of the wing. And the shade packed on pretty well. It did gray out and like to stick down a little bit, but overall I was really happy with how opaque this shade is. So this time I'm going in with the NYX Glitter Glue, trying to switch it up and see if the Fahrenheit Pixie Epoxy is what was causing the trifoils to look super textured on my lid. I'm pretty impartial to the NYX Glitter Glue. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. So I'm starting out with Snowball on the inner lid. And then next to it going in with Turtle Club. And then going with Chicky, which looked pretty similar to the green. And then to fill in the wing, I'm going in with Bunny. Next, I'm using the So Beauty Hydro Liner in Space Panda, and I'm just outlining that cut crease. And I'm using Saddleback to further blend in the edges of the pastels in the crease and also to set the under the brow area. And I'm just going in with a black liner on my waterline. And I'm repeating all the matte shades that I did in the crease on the lower lash line. First going with Aquatic, then Ice Worm, then Sunbathe, and then skipping Fishy and going in with Snack. And then on the inner corner, I'm going in with the Kiss My Glitter palette from Dear Katie Brown, and I'm picking up Venus. And that's it for the third look. I do feel like my lid still looks pretty textured, and I think that's just the nature of these trifoils. I think they're just kind of chunky, so I don't know if there's really any way I can avoid it. And for the last look, again, priming with the P. Louise base in shade 0. And then on the inner crease, I'm going in with Sunbathe. And I packed it on first and then started blending it out, and it just stuck down. So I'm definitely not going to be like packing and blending. I'm just going to go in blending, which I prefer to go in blending anyway in the crease. And on the outer corner, I'm packing on Ice Cap and then slowly blending it out just to make sure I don't bring it out too much too fast. And then above it, I went in with just a little bit of belly slide to feather out the edge. Next, I'm going in with Whisker to kind of smoke it out and make it look a little deeper. I don't really like using black with pastels because it just grays it out, and I don't like that look. For this, I like it with the purple because the purple is already so cool toned that I think it works. I'm just quickly doing kind of like a half cut crease with the P. Louise base, but I'm not really too worried about how sharp the edge is, and I'm tapping out the edge to feather it out. The black did end up looking a little bit patchy, but it was okay because I was gonna put a shimmer over it anyway. And I'm setting down the P. Louise base with Saddleback. And over it, I'm tapping on the NYX Glitter Glue, and then going in with Chicky all over the lid there. and back in with whisker just a little bit to further diffuse the edge of the shimmer. And for the lower lash line, I'm going in with ice cap and then just a little bit of whisker. And then for the rest of the lower lash line, I'm going in with flipper. And for the lower lash line, I'm going in with the ColourPop gel liner in Piggy Bank. And for the inner corner, I'm going in with the Dear Katie Brown, the Haunted Glitter Palette, and I'm dipping into Earthless for the inner corner kind of highlight. And I did put on magnetic lashes, so that's why it's kind of sticking up in the inner corner. I still can't decide if I really like this whole magnetic lashes thing, but anyways, this is the fourth and final look. So I had so much fun playing with this palette. I honestly feel like I could create 4, 5, 6 more looks with it. I'm just really having such a great time playing with it, and this is actually technically the 5th look that I created with it, which is what I'm wearing right now. And I have fishy all over the lid, snack underneath my lower lash line, and I put the trifoil bunny all over my lid, but just with my finger. And I'm also wearing fishy as a blush and the bunny trefoil as a highlight. So now let me dive a little bit deeper into my thoughts on this palette. So as you know, I love the color story. My only thing is, it kind of annoys me that there's only one shimmer in here. It just feels like this could have been all the shimmers. It would have been, I think, really nice. I love the white in here because I like using it to either set my eye base or to use it to kind of blend out the edges of the eyeshadow a little further. The black shade in here, I know a lot of people are saying that they like that it's in here because you can deepen up the pastels. I don't really love it in here personally because it does deepen the pastels, but in like a gray way, so it kind of grays them out, and I personally don't prefer the look of the graying out. I do like the black to use with ice cap and belly slide, for example, because they're more cool toned, so it makes a little bit more sense to me with them to use them, and they kind of end up this really cool like smoky purple. And I did that combo in the last look actually, but the moment you use whisker with the green and the blue, cuddle, snack, fishy, and sunbathe, it's gonna be gray. It's not gonna be like a nice yellow that's just a little deeper. It's not gonna be a pink that's just a little bit deeper pink. It's gonna be like a gray pink, and it's just not really the look I like going for. So if I wanted to deepen these pastels up, I would go in with the same tone of the color, but that's darker. So for example, if I wanted to deepen up Flipper or Ice Worm, I would go in with Sleeping Dragon from this palette. I think it's also sold as a single, or Reef from the Willsong palette. And then also the Feral palette has a really nice deep green in here. They also have some great mattes in their Dragon Child palette that would be perfect for deepening up Ice Cap and Belly Slide. So for example, these two shades on the bottom, Cave Dweller and Burn, I think would be really great. I left all of these mattes. I didn't have to really change up the way I do eyeshadow in order for these to work. I just kind of went in blending and they worked fine, or I would pack on a little bit and then blend, but these blended really beautifully and they still kept their vibrancy. I did use a white base, but it wasn't like a fully opaque white base, so the Makeup Revolution Caprice Canvas in Halo, it kind of thins out a bit, so it's not fully opaque white, and I think that definitely helped with the vibrancy of the pastels. But you could use these on any kind of eye base that you might be using already. Just keep in mind that whatever tone that base has might interfere with some of these tones in here. So if you have a yellow tone base, it will interfere with the pastel tones, but I use a white base for any kind of rainbow looks and bright colors anyway, so I don't mind using a white base with pastels. So I really enjoyed all these colors. The only color that I wanted to point out was Fishy, and that's the one I'm wearing on my lid, and that one tends to like to stick down and not really blend out as much. It looks also a little drier on my lids, at least personally, but it's definitely workable. It's also very, very light, but also very bright, so that one especially I would recommend over a white base. Next, I wanted to talk about the trifoils, which I was really excited for. They looked absolutely stunning and reflective, and while they are really beautiful, it's not my favorite formula because it's very dry and it's flaky, and I noticed that it seemed to have accentuated my eye wrinkles. And I wasn't sure if that was just because I was using a sticky base or like a glitter glue that dried down and that's what was causing it, but when I used it just now with my finger over my lid, it lost a lot of its shine, and it just kind of looked like a dry wash of shimmer. So I'm definitely gonna play around with them a little bit more, but so far I'm not the biggest fan of the formula. I do like though that you can build them up quite a bit, especially over a tacky base, so that they're not as sheer. They can definitely look a bit more opaque. Like when I use them over the black eyeshadow with the NYX glitter glue, they seem to have much more opacity and be a lot less translucent than I thought when I first swatched them. But I'm really excited about this palette. I like that there's so many different colors of pastels in here, and it's not just like the primary green, blue, and pink. And I think those are kind of my thoughts on the palette. I love it. I think it's super fun. And like I said, I'm really excited to keep working with it. Let me know in the comments below which look was your favorite. And also let me know if you have this palette and how you're liking it. I would love to also get your thoughts on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.